Hello and welcome to Knit with Hannah. I'm Hannah. Let's talk today about New Year knitting for 2021. Hi and welcome to Knit with Hannah. I'm Hannah. I'm here with Knitting Natter to help you learn to knit the easy way.
Hi there, so I'm here in the studio. I've got the computer right over here and I am editing a video for tomorrow. So what I forgot to tell you at the top of the video is what's coming up in the rest of this. I'm not just talking about your New Year's resolution for your knitting. I'm talking about two other things as well. First of all, I'm going to share what's coming up in January and February in Knit with Hannah on the channel and also on the website. So that's going to be exciting. I'm sharing all sorts of things with you that I might not share otherwise. I'm also going to do a flip through of the two knitting books that I got for Christmas. The first one is the Harry Potter official book, full of knitting patterns inspired by Harry Potter. And the next one is a practical guide to knitting, which used to belong to my grandmother. My mum wrapped that up for me for Christmas and that was a lovely surprise. But let's get back to it. Let's talk about your New Year's resolution.
New Year's knitting. Right, the new year, everybody knows, is a time where New Year's resolutions just happen. It is a time in the year where we can review, think about what's happened in the past and say, what do I want to do next? I love doing this in September as well. August, September feels like a fresh start, and I really like to do this kind of review and rethink in the spring. Let's talk about this in regards to knitting. Now, I really do suggest, with 2020 being a time where we've had to think and rethink and pivot and change our plans, that 2021, because we're not out of this yet, for the first 3 months we say, this is my plan for my knitting. And then we can rethink again. I really would suggest that a 3-month plan is so much better than an annual plan, a 12-month plan. Just at this time, we don't know what's going to happen. 3-4 months, we could have changed a lot in the world. And then we can rethink our knitting to match that. Right, so what would you like to do in the next 3 months with your knitting? Would you like to knit through your yarn stash? If you're in the UK, you may be thinking, Brexit, I'm never going to get any yarn from the shop in the next 3 months because they can't import it or export it or make any or sell any. Yarn stash might be an idea. You may think, I want to knit all the way through that and have a really great vision for the next 3 months. You may also want to say, all of my knits for the next 3 months are going to be works in progress that I've already started, because they're all sat there, they're waiting for me, and they need to get going. I need to move through them. Or I need to sit there and say, are they really what I need? Do I want to go further with them? Where am I going with them now? And can I make decisions about them? Yes, I've done that so much in the past. I've started something, it hasn't been suitable, when I've got to a point where I've said, yeah, I'll put it down for a while to see if it works out. And then I've come back to it and said, no, that's got to go. I've rewound the yarn, I've given the yarn to a friend or to a charity shop, and I've put the pattern aside and said I didn't want to knit this in the first place, and it just didn't work out. That's fine too. So you could go through your works in progress over the next 3 months. You could also say the next 3 months, knit a few things that will take me into a new technique. Is there something that you want to learn in your knitting? Do you want to learn about cabling or lace or colour knitting or anything like that that can just move you forward with your knitting and say, that's where I am? Do you want to start saying, maybe I want to sell what I knit? I've done a lot of knitting now, I know where I am. Maybe I should put out feelers and see if my friends would like to buy anything from me, if they want to commission anything from me. Maybe I should start an Instagram page for what would become a knitting business, something like that. Just to put the feelers out, just to think about it and come up with some ideas in the next 3 months. You give yourself a target and say, by March 31st, I will know this, 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 this and this. And I will have some research all ready to go so I can make more decisions after 3 months. 90 days gives a great time frame. 90 days is 3 months, and it means that you can reflect, you can research, you can journal, You can figure out how other people do things and whether you want to do them similarly or differently. You can source materials, you can go through a course. For example, any of my courses will take you 6 to 8 weeks, or you can lengthen them and say, I want to do one module every 2 weeks, and I really want to think about it and dive deeper into the lessons. So just recognise that 90 days is a really good time frame. You get 4 of those every year. What I'm suggesting at the moment is that we take 90 days at the beginning of this year to stretch your knitting or do something with your knitting. If you want to make a New Year's resolution, I think this year it's going to be tough because we really are kind of stuck in a rut where we go, what's going to happen in 4 months' time? Are we going to be allowed to go to the beach? Are we going to be allowed to travel? Are we going to do all sorts of things that could affect the way that we find inspiration, the way that we meet family, all that kind of thing? So, just think about that. Do you want to set yourself up for a 3-month resolution instead of a 12-month one this year? Could really, really help. So what I'd also like to chat about today is what's coming right at you in the next 3 months with Knit with Hannah. So Knit with Hannah channel here on YouTube is going to have beginner knitting videos for the next month. And I'm really excited about that. Beginner knitting just kind of grows in the new year. Like I said, people are making New Year's resolutions. I want to start something new. I'm really excited about it. And you're looking for inspiration and you're looking for ideas and you're looking for feedback and support. That's what's here for you for the next month. All sorts of beginner videos coming right at you. And I'm also, in these videos, not necessarily going to be teaching you the tutorials, right hands-on knitting, because all of those videos are right there already. I'm going to be helping you with figuring out what it is that you want to knit as a beginner knitter. Why does it feel so hard as a beginner knitter when surely it's easier? You know that people around you are knitting and it looks easy to them. All of those little things, those annoying things, those frustrating things about starting to knit. What are those questions that you've got as a beginner knitter? And I'm going to help you with those in the next few weeks. So that's January, and in February I've got an exciting thing happening. I am going to be releasing the patterns and the new kits in the shop. These will be digital patterns as well, so if you're not in our postal zone, then you can get the patterns instead. Then these are baby knitting kits. I'm going to be releasing baby knitting kits, baby knitting patterns and baby knitting videos in February. So that's all very exciting, and I'm really looking forward to sharing those with you. It's something I get asked for a lot. I'm knitting for baby, I want to learn knitting while I'm knitting for baby, all that kind of thing. It's a really great time, it's a great phase in your life, whether you are a first-time grandmother, whether you are a first-time mother, whether you're that much younger watching your sisters or your friends have babies, then it's something that you want to knit for. You want to say, here it is, here's a gift, I made it. Every single stitch has got that love in it. A kiss in every stitch. I've been knitting for babies for a very long time and I've got lots of patterns, so I've made them up into kits and they will be released at some point in February. Right, okay, so that's what's coming in January and February. Now, the other thing is that YouTube has opened up shorts and stories. Stories you will probably recognise from Instagram. It's a short video and it's just a behind the scenes kind of thing. This is what's coming. Have you seen today's video? That kind of thing. And you'll see it if you use the mobile app. So you can go and have a look at them and watch those videos. I'll be there at least once every week, regularly. Those videos in the stories stay up for 7 days instead of 24 hours, which they do on Instagram. So they stay there for much longer. So if you think you've missed it, you're less likely to have missed it if you're on YouTube than if you're on Instagram. The other thing is shorts. Now, I asked you last week whether you'd like longer videos, and the majority of you who commented said, yes, I'd love longer videos, I just want you to ramble and chat. So that is something that I will be doing. I will be doing longer videos like this one, for example. So shorts from YouTube are really, funnily enough, short videos. They are less than 60 seconds. So I've been contemplating doing these and I've been thinking possibly I would do them. But you answered my question last week when you said, I'd really love some longer videos. So I'm really umming and ahhing about whether we need short videos on this channel. Don't know yet. I might do them, I might not. However, long videos are likely to be around. And now what's coming next? This is the exciting bit. I was given 2 knitting books for Christmas and I thought you'd like a look at them. I was thrilled with these. My mum wrapped this up for me and it said this used to belong to Grandma. And I thought, is that a knitting book? Is it a knitting book? I hope it's a knitting book. And when I opened it on Christmas Day, it was a knitting book. So I will show you that. And I also got a knitting book from a friend. And if you're a Harry Potter lover, you may well really like this as well. It is the official Warner Brothers Harry Potter knitting book. And I love it. One of the best bits in it is some of the original costume design drawings. So I will definitely show you them as I go through it with you. So let's go and have a look at those 2 books now. Let's take a look at the older one first. This, like I said, belonged to my grandmother and my mum wrapped it up for me for Christmas. It's a lovely surprise. It's an old book. As soon as I unwrapped it, Nick went and had a good look and found out when it was printed. So that is the 7th month of 41, so that's July 41, and yeah, printed in Great Britain. So this is lovely. The ABC of knitting and crochet, it's all right here at the front for the first 30 odd pages. So we have abbreviations and then we just go through the A's and the B's, knitting bands. And I love all these old illustrations, they're beautiful. Crochet as well. It's mostly knitting, mostly knitting. Look at that, the beautiful nails and the lovely long fingers. Wouldn't that be nice? So I have pinpointed a few things in here that I really like. So that, I absolutely loved that picture. And here, look at all this yarn. We have hand spun Angora, machine spun yarn, medium machine spun yarn. So many different ones, boucle and knot yarn. Lots of different varieties of boucle and knot yarn there. Then we have tweed wool, which is more than one colour. Quick knitting yarn, that's really interesting, which you have to understand is thicker yarn. It's chunky yarn. That's really cute that it's called thick knitting yarn in that era. I love all those photographs. And then look at that. This is all you need. It is the old-fashioned version of what you call a 24-piece capsule wardrobe in this era. You don't need that much, do you? You got your sports underwear, jaunty bolero cardigan, frills for the summer, and then suits. You got your tank tops to wear with your suit. It's absolutely lovely, love it. So yes, we got the ladies knits, lots and lots of ladies knits. And then you go through here this and you find children's knits, nursery knits, home knits. There's even a bikini, household knitting. What can you make for your table? Love this. Isn't that lovely? Balaclava. My brother had a balaclava in the 70s. And get you warm. It looks a bit naff, but it kept him warm. Oh dear. You can laugh at winter winds in this balaclava helmet. This lucky man is wearing the 2-colour scarf with it. They're wanted in the kit of every man who has to fight the weather, out in the garden as well as on the parade ground. You recognise this is from 1941, so there was conscription. Every man of a certain age had to go into the army. The mittens will be on active service just as soon as he gets them. Soldier, sailor, tinker, tailor all appreciate gifts like these. Amazing. So this is a fabulous book, and then there's all of these knits for babies as well. Lovely little patterns. And then right near the end, once we've gone through the children's knits, we get to a point where we say, how can you make this your own? Ring in the changes. So it's suggesting lots of different stitches that you can make.
so that it all looks different. You knit one cardigan with the classic pattern that's here, and then you knit another one, but you use the stitch pattern so it's slightly different. Similar stitch count, everything seems very similar. You just have to use your imagination and just go with it. There's no, oh, you have to find the right pattern with the right stitch pattern in it. It is all working just because you are following the same design, but you're just using a different stitch pattern. There really was no hassle. You could knit, you could literally knit for a family for many, many years with this book. Love it, absolutely love it. There's the cable along with the lace and all of the unusual stitches, that's what that's called. And this shows you the different measurements that you will need. And every square is an inch. So you can figure out the inches that you need for each stitch pattern. And that's all the colour stitches as well. So, I really love this book. I will be going through this in great detail just to see what I can find. I'm sure there's stuff in here that will teach me about knitting, because I'm sure in the last 80 years we have missed different skills, drop techniques that actually would really help us as we are knitting today. So this is the first one that I was given for Christmas, and now we have a Harry Potter knitting magic book. Now this has got so many patterns in it. You can see Hedwig here. These are mittens for Luna, so she has different colours for each mitten. This is a Cornish pixie. You can see here the different scarf designs for the different houses, and I will just show you through what we have in the book. This is lovely. It looks like a children's mobile, doesn't it? But it's just supposed to be a decoration. But yes, that would work very well for a mobile. So there's the introduction, just showing you everything and the contents. This is a time turner sweater. It's got designs for the time turner, and this reminds me of Doctor Who, because we're going wibbly wobbly, timey wimey with the time turner there. So what did I like in this particularly? I did like the illustrations, and this is one of the original illustrations. So there you go, that's the jumper pattern. Mrs. Weasley home knitted Christmas jumpers. I have to show you the illustration from this one as well. She was brilliant at knitting, but look, that's her wool and tweed adventure. Beautiful. And we've got embroidery, crocheted embroidery on her tweed cardigan. And obviously we've got Ron's and Harry's jumpers. And all of the different letters, so you could literally make it your own. And I just wish that we had a pattern for the Weasley cardigans. I absolutely love Fred and George's cardigans when they're off to see the Quidditch World Cup. Fabulous. They're just so retro and classic that they would work so well in this day and age. I love them. The golden snitch socks and mittens. Now, I've told you before that I've actually never knitted socks. So this is something I am investigating, because so many of you are asking me for socks. These I love, but the one thing I noticed, I actually looked at all of the socks in this book as well. They are all top down. I would rather knit socks that are toe up, because casting off at the toe can be uncomfortable, or you have to graft them, which just leads to more techniques that, I don't know, in my opinion, it seems to overcomplicate it. From what I've seen of knitting socks, it seems to be easier to start at the toe and then go up. So I won't be using this as a reference when I start figuring out how I would like to knit socks, because I really would like to learn toe up. That's just something. Anyway, so this is the golden snitch socks and mittens. But I love them. The golden snitch socks, really clever design, and it's such a simple design as well. Really clever. So there you go. That is the colour repeat. And we have a scarf that is just covered in different wizarding transportation. We got the night bus, we got the broomstick, and we got the 9 3/4 platform. Very clever. Now, I wanted to show you other stuff as well. We have Hogwarts mug cozies. So what I like about this book, it's not, oh no, you have to understand colour knitting, you have to understand reading patterns that are really complicated, and you have to really get to grips with knitting the socks because of doing the heel afterwards, etc, etc. If you're a beginner knitter, you can still make stuff from this book. The Hogwarts House mug cozies, and Horcrux washcloths, they are plain, no shaping, it's just following the charts. So that I really like about this book. It's get started, learn a bit more techniques by maybe knitting some other things, and then come back and knit something else from this book. And then just learn your techniques as you go. I wanted to show you this. The Deathly Hallows Lace Knit Beaded Shawl. Now, this is inspired by the invisibility cloak, of course. She's not invisible. That is really disappointing. But there's beadwork on it, so it shimmers. And this is very clever. It shows us exactly how they did the invisibility cloak when they were shooting the film. He basically had a cloak made out of green fabric so that it would shimmer in and out of invisibility, which is exactly how this is said to work. So that was brilliant. I love the fact that they used a green cloak. So there you go, that's the knitting pattern. It's lace, and the whole idea of it is that the lace chart shows the Deathly Hallows. There you go. So he's not, yeah, that's really annoying that she's not invisible when she's wearing the cloak. But we have this resurrection stone, we have the wand, and we have the invisibility cloak. So that's really cool. It's a big chart to read. But once you're used to it, this kind of thing, okay, I'm knitting that bit again, I'm knitting that bit again. Once you're used to lace knitting and you've knitted this chart a couple of times because it is repeated, it will feel a lot easier, and the beadwork will feel easier once you've done it a few times as well. So there you go, that is the lace shawl. There you go. And then there's the delightful decor. So there, that is a rather long look at this book. And right at the end we have the abbreviations, and there isn't any illustrated information about how you knit. It's all written. We all know you can basically go on YouTube and get going with it. You can find the right video for what you need. We all know that. A lot of this is all in my YouTube channel actually, so definitely if you end up with this book, then just come over to the YouTube channel and you'll find that 3 needle cast off we've done recently. And then we have all the abbreviations here. So yes, I rather like this book. I choose what to knit first. Yeah, I really like this one. And the fact that we've got the illustrations and we've got information about the films in this one, I think is just that little bit extra special. There you go. That is the 2 books that I had for Christmas.
Did you like them? I thought you might. So yes, this is a bit of a longer video, just as we suggested last week. Hope you've enjoyed it, and do let me know if there's anything that you're thinking, I might do that for the next 3 months with my knitting. That could be a New Year's resolution, that is a 90-day resolution. So I really do suggest that you just think about that in a different way. Doesn't have to be, I'm going to do this for 12 months. We don't know what's happening in 3-4 months' time. Who knows? We could be out of lockdown, everything will be hunky-dory by then because so many people have had the vaccine. And we'll all need a booster vaccine in September. Boom, we're sorted. But it could still be quite a difficult year. We're getting out of there, we've got more understanding, but it could still be quite a difficult year. So let's set ourselves up for 3 months. I think sitting and knitting, finding joy where we can, is really going to help us get through this. I know it's going to help me. I've really enjoyed knitting this Christmas because we haven't been out, we haven't seen family and friends like we would normally do, and I've actually found a real thrill in knitting and getting things finished. I did finish something yesterday on Boxing Day when I'm filming this on Sunday. I finished one of the baby blankets on Boxing Day, and that was a yes. I probably wouldn't have done that so quickly if I'd been out to visit family, but yeah, it's tough. It's going to be difficult, so we need to stick together. This community is here for you. Keep watching, keep writing in the comments, keep being here for each other, and We can get through this and we will knit together. So that is New Year's Knitting 2021. Do let me know in the comments, like I said, all about your New Year's wishes for your knitting. I will see you again soon. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you again next week with the first of the beginner videos. Do subscribe if you are new here and you'd like to see one of those beginner knitting videos, and click on the bell for notifications. If you click on the bell, YouTube will let you know whenever there's a new video from me. I'm here every Tuesday, every week with a new video. Thanks for joining me. See you again next week. Bye for now. Happy knitting and Happy New Year for Friday.